This is a surprisingly sedate and serious exorcism outing, so much so that some critics, especially in the States, weren't sure about the horror tag because people do expect spinning heads and pea soup. And
Yeah.
I mean, did you yourself, when you read the script, did you sort of feel, well, this is something not quite in that what people might expect?
Yeah, I mean, I think we always knew that it was going to be sort of pigeonholed as a horror because of the subject matter, but it's I in a sense I agree. I think it's more of a psychological debate. Sort of, it's a drama more so than a horror film. There's a couple of jumps and scares in there, but it's trying to take as real an approach to the idea of exorcisms as possible.
I know the great philosopher Tom Waits once said, there ain't no devil, that's just God when he's drunk. And the great Greek philosopher George Michael said, you got to have faith. So I don't know whether there's, within all this sort of, stepping into this world at all, whether your belief system, whatever it might have been, was in any way shaken, whether you came out with a different take on...
Yeah, I mean, I felt very comfortable I have my own set of beliefs, which I'm very happy with and very comfortable with. I think what it did for me was it made me question a little bit more, maybe, because you're reading I read theology books and I spoke to exorcists, I went to exorcisms, I tried to get as deep into it as possible. And when you're working, I literally didn't have a day off, and which was great, I'm delighted with, but you can't help but raise some questions in your own mind as to where you're going or what you thought, your thought process. I don't know, for Anthony Hopkins was the same. He very much, raised some questions. You get to a stage where things just, faith is such a personal thing, and I think everybody has to question it at some point.
Well, I'm fascinated by the, when you say you did attend some exorcisms, and I heard that they weren't any kind of spinning heads and pea soup kind of exorcisms. But once you get into even the notion of the existence of demonic possession, I don't know whether, I just think it's sort of, Darren Brown on a bad day, there's a sort of self-induced kind of demonic possession. I don't know whether you would have gone in believing that or believing that, no, there is...
I mean, I tried to go in as open-minded as possible, just for the sake of the film. I mean, I think what I realised very quickly was that it doesn't matter if I believe it or if you believe it or if you don't, because to the people who are going in to be exorcised, it's very, very real and it's very scary, it's terrifying. And to the exorcist who's performing the exorcisms, they believe that they're doing it on a daily basis. And, at the end of the day, who cares if I think it's real or not? Because, if you're somebody of faith like that and you believe that your soul is being attacked by a demon, I mean, that's as scary as it gets. There's nothing as scary as that.
Have you met Harvey Weinstein?
I have actually met Harvey Weinstein once,
that wasn't that scary, no?
No, he's a lovely man, yeah.
I was thinking too, when coming to research it, that's not the only sort of element of research. You also have the mortician side, and I don't know whether there was any kind of need to go in there. I don't know whether you maybe dated
I researched the idea of how you, I sort of researched how you dress a body and how you, the sort of things to do with embalming and stuff. It's important to, I don't think you can be ever over-prepared. You can be over-rehearsed, but never over-prepared, so it's important to try and do that.
And would there be a darkness would come with a role like this then? Because if you are giving yourself into the possibilities of your character and you want to, have the same sort of sense of wonder and the same coming from the same place that your character Michael Kovac's coming from, I'm guessing there's a darkness involved in even stepping into that world.
Yeah, it's sort of when you're dealing with it on such a daily basis, and you're reading, all the books and literature on it. You can go quite dark at points. I mean, the character of Michael Kovac is so different than I am. He's very skeptical. He's very distant, and that's sort of how we wanted him to be. Mikhail, who directed the film, and we spoke about that, and I feel that we achieved that. Some people might think it's maybe a little bit too distant, but that's, this is a guy who is not sure of what he's seeing and has to be skeptical, or else there's no movie. Do you know what I mean? If he sees the first exorcism and he goes, "Oh, grand, okay, I get it. Well, where are we going to go now?" But it's easy to go dark, and but it's important to sort of keep. We joked about it in set, and we had a laugh and stuff, so that was important too.
Of course, you do a lot of your scenes opposite the iconic and almost laconic kind of Anthony Hopkins, who's had his love affair and fallen in out of love with acting, but there's no question he's one of the great actors. And I don't know whether, when it comes to working someone opposite someone like that, once you've relaxed into it, hopefully that you, I don't know if you're observing, trying to figure out his techniques or observing exactly how he approaches the work.
Because, I mean, I spoke a lot with him about that. You know, about how he approaches his work and stuff like that. And you know, he's very, you know, he has a very definite process that he goes through, which is incredible. But he is also a genius, and you can't really rehearse that. Do you know what I mean? It just comes naturally. You know, on set we'd be doing a scene, and all of a sudden, all these Welsh prayers would come out that were completely out of the blue, and you know, hymns and all this kind of. You're going, where is all this stuff coming from? You know, he's using different characters, people that he's met along the way, to create these wonderful characters, especially in the final exorcism scene.
You're born a beautiful Drogheda here. Actually, 30 years ago was your birthday in January.
30, January, yeah.
But that notion of making, you know, obviously you did your time in Fair City and Clinic and various different Irish productions, but this is a very big leap into the Hollywood side of it, because it's a #1 movie in the US, and obviously the profile is quite high.
Yeah.
Was it a shock to you that it seems to happen quite quickly, or whether it was a lot of hard slog?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's sort of funny. It seems like it's weird. It seems like it happened quickly, and it even seems like that to me. But you know, I've been working here for 10 years, and you know, the Rite was the first job I'd done in nearly it was a year and a half, and you know, you have to keep putting the work in and sort of believing in yourself, and you know, thank God it worked out for this. And you know, I'm still pinching like even sitting here doing these interviews, especially in Ireland. This is the most nervous I've been has been here, because you know,
meeting me is a big deal. You know that.
It is, yeah, it is, absolutely. But it's I just feel really thankful and blessed. You know, I have to say to Mick Isle and the producers and the people at Warner Brothers and New Line, I mean, they really took a chance, you know, because I'm playing an American, and you know, not only am I completely unknown, but they're making me play American, which is huge for that. So I'm really thankful.
I know I've only got 1 minute left, so just I suppose I was going to ask about the fact that you played last night. We're in Dublin last night. This is Monday the 21st, and last night your band played after the premiere of the Rite in Whelan's. The band is called The Enemies, and we just spoke actually before the cameras rolled. It is always tough for, you know, you look at Bowie, you look at Madonna, anybody who goes from one camp to the other gets a little bit of a hard time. But you were saying maybe in a way it's okay still, because you haven't got much baggage to bring with you on stage. Or
yeah, I mean, nobody really knows who I am, so.
But there's a plan about it. Would you like to sort of have that dual thing? Or
yes, I would. Yeah. I love to play with the lads, and you know, we have a great time doing it. And I was very lucky that, and we were all very lucky that, you know, we were able to play at the premiere last night, and they played at the rap party in Budapest, and you know, Anthony Hopkins introduced us and stuff like that. I mean, it's a massive thing, and hopefully I'll be able to do both.
Are you any good?
I'm not very good, but the lads are great.
Rock and roll. Thanks a million.
Thanks very much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.